Intersection Magazine Podcast.
Welcome to Intersection Magazine Podcast. This episode is about investment worthiness and really tackles some ideas about what it takes for your startup or company to be investment worthy. And the ideas it's a merger between the ideas that exist on the internet or in research with those that exist in popular media. This is Intersection Magazine Podcast. I'm your host, Nicholas Kianda. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And I hope you enjoy this episode. So first, let me build this up, give you a bit of a background in terms of why we're doing this episode. About maybe 3 months ago, through my LinkedIn, I came across a VC firm that was looking for scouts or people who would connect them to businesses that are worth investing in. So the idea is you send them the business name, and then they connect with that business, have that business fill in some forms, and if they succeed in investing in that business, you get about maybe 500 USD for your work or for your connection. So I did this for 2 companies, and then a few days or few months later, a few days ago, someone in a WhatsApp group said or suggested or inquired about a company in Uganda. As fate would have it, the company is located about 5 minutes from where I live. So I quickly went through my notes, found out what major points I normally use in judging the investment worthiness of a company, as I had found them through a search on the internet. Visited this place and asked a few questions. Took a few photos, sent this information back to the young man who had asked for help. And I decided that as soon as I was going to be able to get the chance, I was going to write something about investment worthiness, both for those who are looking to invest, as well as for those who are on the side of founders, those who are creating companies. In the past few months, I have covered the ecosystem, the tech and innovation ecosystem of Greater East Africa through pieces or articles on Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda as well, and Rwanda. The 4 I mentioned are called the Big 4 because they tend to attract the greatest chunk of venture funds in the region or in the continent. And then I covered Rwanda and Uganda out of probably what you'd call a personal bias. And so I have some materials about these ecosystems. I also cover Tanzania and Zanzibar after a visit. Later on, I went on to talk about some aspects of intellectual property law for these regions, connecting intellectual property law to investment. And I think probably the country that illustrates this connection best is Tanzania, at least in terms of what a certain law firm that's influential in the IP landscape has written. They connected the importance of IP law, patents, IP protection, copyrights to the value that companies or startups have, especially if they wish to sell those companies to venture capitalists. So the connection they make directly is that if you actually have some patents or some intellectual property around the products that you're offering, then this increases the value of your startup or your company should you decide to make a sale. Now, in terms of investment readiness, there's a couple of ideas that stand out. The first, of course, is market opportunity. The second is business model. The third is product development. The fourth is team composition. The fifth is financial health. The sixth is legal and compliance, while the seventh is exit strategy. So when you're talking about market opportunity, you're talking about market size, you're talking about market trends, you're talking about the competitive landscape. What that basically means is your company has to make sure that you're looking at who's doing or building in the same space. You're looking, of course, in terms of the market for your product and what size does that market exists for that market. And then you're also looking at trends favoring your products. Then there's business model, or what are your revenue streams? Is your business scalable? How many customers are you acquiring every day, every month? Do you have those numbers? Then in terms of your product, of course, you are making sure that you have a minimum viable product, or MVP. You want to make sure that you have a product market fit. And then you have to have future projections for a future roadmap for your product. How you hire, or what you have in terms of team composition, is also important, of course, as well. We have mentioned the importance of boards, management boards, people that are in the background managing the structure of your system. And in my magazine, you will find that I have given you links or devoted a section of what I write towards a group called Founders Freedom, who help you around the area of business longevity by helping you have a succession plan and building all the structures that are necessary for strengthening your team. Then you have financial health, where you cover your current financials, your funding history, and your projections. Then your legal and compliance, that is where your intellectual property would come in, your contracts and agreements, NDAs and things of that nature. And then, of course, your regulatory practices. These days, of course, the most important of these is data protection and privacy. And then the final one is your exit strategy. So your business is where is your business? Is it just starting? Would you be an early stage business, or would you be attracting Series A, B, C, or D, or would you be at the place where you're about to exit? So, of course, the kind of investors you attract are interested in what level you're currently operating in, and this will inform how they invest in your business. So those are metrics, or a rough idea of what would be thinking about if we were investing, or what standard tools or standard ideas come to the fore when people are thinking about investing in businesses. Now, in a previous post, I found a useful link for those who are looking for startup metrics, or metrics for ventures or venture firms, for those who are wanting to find out a little bit more in terms of the companies they're investing in. Now, if you look at those terms, you will find that they seem to be more directed towards technology or internet or web-based products, because it is with these types of products that you can have monthly, daily, weekly revenue numbers or projections or things of that nature. especially because you can monitor users, engagement, payment, and those kinds of systems. So for other types of businesses, the metrics we presented may be slightly different. On the whole, though, these investment readiness tools, I think, can be useful. Now, as is become the tradition of Intersection Magazine, we like to give you some insights in terms of what Hollywood uses or what the entertainment platforms use engaging businesses in terms of success or in terms of leadership or structure, or some notes that help you further understand or strengthen the ideas that we present either in a magazine issue or in a podcast. So for this particular one, I found an episode of Billions that was really, really well done. This is season 2, episode 5. So first, let me give you a bit of a background in terms of what was going on in the episode. I think it was in episode 3 or 4, one of Axe Capital's leading characters, the one who supports the CEO, quirky character, very strong character, often comes off as rude but also has a love for the party scene, is facing some challenges on the job. So he meets the Axe Capital CEO's wife, and she's wondering, how do you manage? You look like you party like crazy, but next day you seem to be fully functional. So he tells her about a tool that he uses. He gets intravenous shots of some juice or some chemicals that pretty much clean up his system, and he's good to go, fresh, good to go. So the CEO's wife decides that this actually is a good business idea. So she shows up at work at Axe Capital and starts giving intravenous shots to staff members, and then she expands to other companies where there's other high performance workplaces where people are obviously partying in the night and need to come to work fresh, and so a business grows out of that. Later on, of course, she faces some challenges. Other people start copying what she's doing and making money out of it. So she, being as sharp or as smart as her husband, uses some amazing means to get ahead of her adversaries. But that's not where the story is. She asks her husband, who is of course is a genius at business and management, for an introduction. She wants to stand before potential investors to see if they'll support her venture. And so he gives her a contact, and then she comes back rather disappointed. I mean, she gives her pitch, talks about how scalable it is, and gives a potential customer base, people who she thinks would be likely to invest in this business or would be great customers. But she comes back to her husband and she says she's pretty much disappointed because she feels like they only gave her time because she's the wife of the guy behind Axe Capital. So what we present next is a conversation between him and her about why he feels she wasn't ready. So I think this conversation sheds some light in what it takes for a startup to stand out and to attract capital and to attract the interest of venture capitalists who may have the money and the clout to invest in the business. So that's a bit of an intro in terms of the conversation. Now, what I might do is, in the episode notes, I'll just give you highlights of that conversation so that you can develop or think about it a little bit further. Now, a word of caution. There's some people who may be stronger on the motivational side of speaking, but that are weak on the business side of speaking. Now, they may have a few successful businesses, but that does not mean that when they speak or when you present your business and they disqualify you, that you shouldn't try anyway. I will not name any names, but be careful if your people constantly speak negatively about your business because of their successes. They still may be a path for you. Anyhow, just listen to this, and I hope you enjoy the ideas that are present and the intensity with which they're delivered.
On your way in, give Lawrence Boyd a call from me.
I'll be with him. What's up?
Tell him the woman he set me up with wasted my fucking time.
I'm sorry?
It was a bullshit meeting.
You're a businesswoman, right? That's how you went in there?
Damn right.
Well, then, was the woman discourteous? Was she rude?
No, it wasn't. She treated me like I was just the wife. Like my business wasn't ready.
I tried to tell you. You weren't ready, but you wouldn't hear it from me.
You put me in touch with Spartan Ives. You said to go ahead.
Don't. I don't have time to have this conversation the way you need me to. You weren't ready? Leave it there.
Why the fuck not?
What is it that you do that you're the best in the world at? You offer a service you didn't invent, a formula you didn't invent, a delivery method you didn't invent. Nothing about what you do is patentable or a unique user experience. You haven't identified an isolated market segment, haven't truly branded your concept. Do you need me to go on? So why would an investment bank put serious money into it? I all but told you ahead of time, but you wouldn't listen. Now you've heard it, but it's too late. You weren't ready.
Intersection Magazine Podcast.